What's up, everybody? Dog 985. There's levels to this. I got a quick video for you guys tonight. So, you see the title. Exclusives cannibalize game sales more than Game Pass. This is coming from an X poll that I put up. And I was wonderfully surprised and relieved at how many people answered honestly. The majority of the polls stated that yes, exclusivity is worse for game sales than Game Pass is. Now, everyone that answered that and said, obviously, Doc, if a game is exclusive, right, that's going to hurt its sales more than if a game is on Game Pass. Obviously, Doc, right? If anyone that answered that, I appreciate you being honest, regardless of what side you are. And I'm sure there's people on both sides that answered that, okay? Now, to the hardcore Sony fans, because it had to be Sony fans. There's no way it was an Xbox fan or a PC fan or even a Nintendo fan that answered that Game Pass cannibalizes sales more than a game being exclusive. It's impossible. It had to be PlayStation fans that answered that, right? And it was like 40%. To all of you that answered that, I just want you, really, I just want to know how your brain thinks. I want to take a look into your brain and explain to me, please, how a game being exclusive to one platform is better than a game being on multiple platforms and being on Game Pass. And I'm talking about from your perspective. You guys are the ones that care about how much money a game makes and all that other stuff. So, for instance, I'll break it down for you, okay? Would Zelda Breath of the Wild, a great game, right? Do you think that game would have sold more if it was also released day and date on other platforms? Or would it have sold less than what it sold on Nintendo? Explain that to me. With Zelda Breath of the Wild being exclusive to Nintendo, would it have sold more if that game would have came out on PlayStation, on Xbox, and on PC, and on Nintendo? Or would it have sold less? What's going on with these games that are on Game Pass, like Indiana Jones, that were exclusive to the Xbox console, exclusive to the PC, right? And now that they're finally not exclusive to the Xbox console, they're coming to PlayStation. Now it's actually selling well. So what cannibalized the sales of that game? That it was exclusive or that it was on Game Pass? From what I could see, as soon as they removed the exclusivity of it being on the Xbox console, it sold more. It sold tremendously more. I would take a guess that if the next Metroid that comes out, Metroid 4, comes out on every single platform, I would guess that it would sell extremely well. I would. I think the exclusives only serve to make you buy that box so that you have to get into that ecosystem. But in terms of if you just wanted to see how much sales the game could get, it would make sense to me that exclusivity cannibalizes game sales more than Game Pass does. Now, this doesn't have to be a long video because the majority of the people agreed. So if you disagree, it's your burden now to prove to us why. How? So I'll leave you with this thought, okay? If you think Game Pass is bad for the industry because it doesn't support the developers, because the developers aren't making as much money as they could because of Game Pass, then I would then argue that exclusivity is bad for the industry. If you really care about the developers, you should want these developers to be able to put their games in front of the largest number of player base possible to purchase their games. And if you don't think that's true, all you got to do is look at what the highest selling games are every single year. The majority of them are multi-plat games. The numbers don't lie. Numbers don't lie. Dog 1985, there's levels to this. Let me know what you guys think. I don't see how you're going to convince me that Game Pass cannibalizes game sales more than a game being exclusive. I I don't see it. I think there's an argument that what Phil said is actually true. Game Pass might actually drive more sales of a game. Not on the Xbox platform, but it might actually drive more sales. But that's a whole nother topic. Dog 1985, there's levels to this. We out. Peace.